Animals can be very weird when it comes to their eating habits. These guys don't care what they eat as long as they get their nutrients inside them. Today, we're going to be looking at a few of them and what they eat that we, as humans, find so disgusting. Once again, I'd prefer you not to get snacks for this video. Welcome to Animals Wow TV. Let's get started. The egg-eating snake has to be one of the friendliest snakes we've ever met. No more defrosting those rats with no teeth, a placid demeanor, and a diet consisting of eggs. Because of the similar markings, this snake is occasionally mistaken for a night adder. The majority are light brown, speckled, and black lined. They don't have teeth in their mouths, but they do have teeth in the form of projections along their backbones that help them saw and shatter the eggs that they swallow. There is such a creature as the Vampirefinch. Yeah, that's exactly how it sounds. Since Darwin's time, Galapagos finches have been employed to demonstrate evolution in action. Even among them, Geospiza septentrionalis stands out as one of the few birds on the planet that draws and drinks blood on purpose. And the species is only found on Wolf and Darwin Islands, two of the archipelago's most isolated and off-limits locations. The Vampirefinch has a system in place. First, one bird climbs on the back of a napping Nazca booby and drinks from the base of the seabird's wing. The booby's white feathers are stained with blood. Imagine buying a fish for supper and seeing a little pair of eyes staring up at you from within the dead fish's mouth, just as you were about to cut it open. The fish's tongue shoots up and attacks you as you carefully reach out to open the fish's jaw. After this horrible episode, you're surely not going to eat fish for a long time, right? Except for the biting portion, most of the rest is true. The strange object inside the fish's mouth turned out to be a marine parasite. Cymathoa exigua is a microscopic marine parasite that lives within fishes' mouths and feeds on their tongues. It belongs to the isopod family of animals. Siccilians are strange animals with long, segmented bodies that resemble enormous earthworms, but are actually amphibians related to frogs and salamanders. They are burrowing mammals that live mostly in tropical soils and may reach lengths of up to 5 feet. The most fascinating and revolting aspect about these creatures is that the freshly hatched Siccilians spend their first few days devouring their mother's skin. In fact, they eat skin until they are old enough to leave the nest and go hunting on their own. Parasitic Jaegers, sometimes known as Arctic squaws, are among the world's most hostile seabirds. They are kleptoparasites, which means they prey on other animals. They frequently disturb other birds, including terns, puffins, and seagulls, which are returning to their nest with fish or other valuables for their young. These flying maniacs would dive bomb and peck other birds in mid-flight, causing them to spew their meal in fear. The squads then return to harassing some more hard-working birds on their way home, slurping up the half-digested leftovers with gusto. I'm not sure if mommy stayed until all the eggs had hatched, but the lamprey has a face that only a mother could adore. They don't have jaws. Instead, cartilage rings support their round mouths. A lamprey bites a fish and is securely anchored to its flanks. The lamprey then feasts on the fish's blood, clinging to its side the entire while because the helpless fish has no hands to remove itself from the lamprey's hold. The lamprey's spiky tongue, which has small pointed structures all over it to scrape away the tissue and blood beneath the fish's skin, does the actual harm. This newly found ant species has experts all around the world enthralled. While they are drawn to it because of its physical similarities to modern-day wasps, the feeding habits of this ant are absolutely odd. It's a blood-drinking bug, as you would have guessed from the name. It does not, however, take the blood of humans or animals, which is a godsend considering the fear that a swarm of vampire ants would produce. Instead, it feeds on its own larvae's blood like plasma. Yeah, these ants gnaw on their young until their body's contents stream out, and then they drink it. These beetles are the insect world's undertakers, devouring the stinky flesh of dead, decaying animals. They feed on the carcasses of small animals and birds and may be found all over the world. Their antennae can detect the aroma of dead bodies from a great distance, generally within an hour of death. and the beetles must arrive quickly or else the reward will be taken by another carrion eating species, such as a crow or perhaps another burying beetle. When 2 or more burying beetles come onto the same cadaver, they will battle for scavenging rights, with the bigger beetle emerging victorious. Dung beetles are infamous for rolling up dung balls and moving them around their entire lives. They are coprophagous insects, which means they eat other creatures' excrement. The dung beetle begins each day by flying about looking for a nice stinky clump of feces. They don't need to drink or eat anything else since feces meets all of their nutritional needs. 5-star dieting, anyone? Tear-drinking moths, perhaps the world's worst losers, sneak up on larger creatures and poke them in the eyes until they weep, allowing them to drink their tears. Different species prefer different types of victims, but they always prefer animals that can't shrug them off. Species on various continents prey on slow-moving animals like deer or even crocodiles, while a species in Madagascar targets sleeping birds by burrowing between their eyelids with a barb-covered proboscis. Omata Koida elongata are parasitic copepods that attach themselves to the eyes of Greenland and Pacific sleeper sharks. They're about 2 inches long. They eat the shark's cornea, gradually blinding its unsuspecting prey. It works out for both the parasite and the shark, as the sharks don't appear to mind and seem to be able to thrive without their eyesight. Omata Koida sucks on eyes rather than other parts, according to scientists, since they're easier to adhere to and the shark's immune system is weaker. Archerfish are found in Southeast Asia and Australia, and they're noted for their unique ability to catch their next food by spitting water at it. To take down unsuspecting insects, they construct a tube with their tongues, stick their nose out of the water, and shoot a torrent of water. They are incredibly accurate, as any good sniper should be, and have been reported to hit targets as far away as 5 feet. Because ostriches lack teeth, they ingest tiny stones and pebbles, which aid in the grinding of their meal in the gizzard. In the gizzard of an adult ostrich, there are around 2.2 pounds of stones. Many birds ingest sharp stones and grit and store them in their gizzards, which are muscular parts of their stomachs. The gastroliths are ground against each other and the food the bird has ingested as the gizzard contracts. Sea cucumbers are the definition of slow and disgusting. These sausage-looking animals scurry along the ocean floor and eat sand. Why sand, you ask? Well, because there is a lot of plankton and other edible things such as algae and small amounts of eaten fish residue. When they're done eating, they deposit out the indigestible sand back onto the ocean floor. Alright, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Do smash that like button if this video was to your liking. Comment down below which one of these you think was the most disgusting eating behaviors. Subscribe to our channel if this is the sort of video that you like to watch. Until then, thanks for watching, and take care.